And here she comes to chat a load of bollocks. I'm Sarah Kennedy. This is the Roundtable. This is your recap for the events of episode 9 of The Traitors. If you've not seen it yet, this is your spoiler warning. Go and do so. Then come back to me to grumble and commiserate. Is this going to be an hour of Stephen somehow wriggling off the hook? The faithfuls are totally out of their box. And I am furious. Right after this, I'm going to be burning down a Scottish castle, and I'm guessing you're all coming with me, right? We must avenge our queen. I'm so sad. My Jessie. She was such a warm, funny, caring person and so astute. She wasn't going to make it to the final table, but I really wish she'd gone further than this. This is risky play indeed from Stephen. Well, now I hope they lose. He understands. He says, I'm playing with fire, and hopefully it looks way too obvious. But you just don't know what the faithful are going to think about an obvious play. Will they see the double bluff? They do have to, both of them, be super careful. I like you shouldn't mean I trust you. Not in this game. So we get to the mission, and this is Traitor Jack in a Box. And it looks like they might be using a Traitors survey, but the Traitors know nothing about this. Oh, hello. They've got to give their answers live. No hiding behind a confessional box screen. Good, because I think that gave them too much power. Rachel is very worried. She says she's clumsy, that she's going to trip up and everybody will be able to hear her. The players need to listen out for what's happening while they hide in these large boxes. But unfortunately, there's a drumming druid that keeps walking around. I would be desperate to peep to see the traitors make their move. Maybe try and sort of make a little spy hole in the box. How? I don't know, but, maybe if I'd packed my tool belt, I would be okay. What they have to do is answer questions like... who do the traitors believe are, powerful or not powerful in the game? Things like that. Everybody has to answer those questions. The traitors have to get out of their box to do it, stand in the centre and have a discussion, which is the point where everybody's trying to listen to what's happening. But of course, production have designed this so cleverly that it's going to be very difficult to hear any noise whatsoever. So the faithful are excited that this is an opportunity. It's not really. It feels like one, but it isn't really. Rachel and Stephen discuss their answers, get back in the box, and then they vote. And then there's a hooded, cloaked Jack-in-a-Box that appears to reveal the traitor answer. They are all suspicious of each other's answers. I love the idea of production assistants having to sit in these boxes and play this game to see if it works. Who would make the best traitor? Now, that is a good question. A traitor blessing at this stage in the game may be a bit dangerous. Rachel gets accused of being smooth and that she would make a good traitor. And in the diary room VT, she's just, shut up, James. Claudia dismisses them and says, think about what you've learned. Ellie knows people expect her to speak up now, because there are fewer and fewer faithful to have these opinions, to talk, to guess, to theorise, and to speak up at the round table. But she also knows that she'll be accused of changing her behaviour if she does. And it will look somehow suspicious and look like a traitor move. You know how these slight changes or perceived changes in people make people's wheels spin in their mind. And she goes, what do you want from me? And there is nowhere to hide now as the players are diminished. Ellie's suspicions of Jade at the round table are basically, I don't like you very much, which isn't great. Jade has been under fire for basically no reason. She's too guarded. She's got too much resting bitch face. As a woman, of course, that's not allowed. We have to be warm and emotional, and to be guarded and distant is suspicious immediately, inherently. Roxy starts speaking and I jump. Who is that? She's not had much time in the edit up to this point. Rachel goes for Ellie. She goes, at the start of the round table, really strangely, she goes, I don't want to speak first. was an odd thing to say, and Ellie fills that gap. So Rachel builds this story about Ellie's behaviour early in the day. Rachel is extremely clever, and she's always spotting behaviour and taking those chances and using that to her advantage. I keep thinking, does Stephen wear quite a lot of red and pink to sort of mask his flushed face? Poor thing. In this roundtable, it does become a bit uncomfortable because we do see Jade upset for the first time. Matt pushes her too far. She has had to put up with a lot of unmitigated anger and suspicion at the roundtable, probably more so than any other player this series. And then the answer, the result is that Ellie is gone. She didn't use that big brain quite enough. It's very cute as she leaves that she mentions Ross and people make that shocked face, but it's fairly meaningless in the game by now as he's been gone for so long. And there's no murder. It's dinner party time. We're back at the Christmas cheese board. Does seem a little bit early in the series. If you know different, let me know, because we've got 8 people as guests at this dinner party. I'm a bit disappointed that the roundtable ended with no votes at all for Stephen. Playing a wonderful game. We should give him credit for that, but, Jessie. It's nice to see them drop their guard slightly at this dinner table. Faraz especially is so sweet. Talking about how they would use the money if they won. He wants to take his family on the Hajj pilgrimage. There's so many nice things that come out during this dinner, and that is the purpose of it, so that we cement these characters in our minds a little better, and so that they are multi-textured and three-dimensional, more so than sort of faithful or traitor. A lot of people talk about holidays, weddings, cars they want to buy, gifts for their family, gratitude to their parents and their family, their ambitions to buy a home. Jade mentions her grief for her mum and half-sister. Well, no wonder she's standoffish. That's self-protection. I get it. Why let people in if they hurt you or if they're going to leave again? I'm sorry that she had to cry on national TV for us to understand her better, but I think we really do now. And it's quite interesting to see people talk about how much they love their family, and Roxy says wonderful things about the mother who adopted her when she was age 6, but nobody knows that they've already met Roxy's mum. So she does a very good job there, I think. And then a twist, a dagger at dinner. So Claudia announces that this ceremonial dagger that the traitors will give to somebody that night means they get a double vote at the next round table. It's up to the traitors to give that power to any of the 8, so to the faithful or to themselves. Stephen and Rachel are seen later in, I assume, the armoury. As Stephen says, as they make their decision, 3 votes is enough to get somebody out at this stage in the game. Have the traitors then given that power to themselves? Rachel has this image as a very steady, safe pair of hands, so perhaps it wouldn't be too suspicious if she was given the power. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is an interesting twist? It's not something that we've seen before. Do you think it does give the faithful a little bit of extra power? It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting all the twists that they've put in play in this game. Quite a lot of them from the dramatic tendencies of the players themselves, but also the production team have been doing really well, given that we thought that maybe Secret Traitor was the only twisty thing about this series. There's been a lot more to unfold. And of course, we're heading into the final week, so we expect a lot more twists then. This was the Roundtable. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week. Laters, traitors.